All right, we're live. Hi, everyone. We'll wait a second and see if we get viewers in here. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started now. Hi, everyone. I'm Jose Espinel, and I'm serving as your FBLA National President. First off, welcome to our first National Forum, and thank you to everyone who's taking this time to connect with us. During the first half of our broadcast, you'll hear updates from each of our national officers as they relate their activities in the past month, along with announcements regarding our national programs. During the second half, we'll open the floor for a 15-minute question and answer session. You can ask us questions by logging into your Google account and using the Q&A feature on Google Hangouts. The topics can be anything from items on the new program of work to what it's like to serve as a national officer. So, without further ado, we'll begin our first national forum with the introduction of your 2015-16 National Officer Team. Josie, would you like to begin?
Yeah, hi, my name is Josie Luptak, and I'm a senior at Harrison High School in West Lafayette, Indiana. And this year I am serving as the FBLA National Secretary. At school, I'm also involved in band and robotics, and I really like math. So far this year, I've created our national schedules, worked on securing items for the national auction that will be held at the Baltimore NFLC, and I've started prototyping for the new FBLA Challenge app. Throughout the year, I will continue each of these projects, as well as working with my National Secretary Council, promoting FBLA programs, and serving on a few of the committees for our program of work. I challenge you all to continue to connect with us this year and keep FBLA fun BLA. I would now like to introduce Vanessa.
Hi everyone, my name is Vanessa Ting, and I'm your 2015-2016 FBLA National Parliamentarian. Over these past few months, I've been working on promoting an internship initiative with our sponsors. Better World Collective is now recruiting interns for their Rising Entrepreneur Accelerator program, and their mission is to teach about how to run a startup company, one that helps local charities and nonprofits more effectively raise money. So if you're looking for hands-on experience in the business world, this is a really good opportunity. And as an intern myself, I can attest that it is a really good learning experience. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. In terms of upcoming activities, I'm looking forward to strengthening recruitment and retention in my home state, New Jersey, and my selected home state, Virgin Islands. I'll be attending Baltimore's NFLC this November, and I'm excited to connect. And now I will introduce Hirsch.
Hi everyone, my name is Hirsch Sisodia, and I'm serving as this year's Eastern Region Vice President. I really couldn't be more excited to represent all 11 states on the Eastern Seaboard, Puerto Rico, the District of Columbia, and provinces from British Columbia to Ontario, as well as countries from China to Haiti to Korea, and all of our chapters in Europe. It's truly an honor, and beyond saying how humbled I am, I'm more just very, very excited to do the best I can to work with every state, territory, and country to build a stronger organization for every member. As you've already heard, the theme for our upcoming year is Connect, and that is first and foremost what I am working on in the Eastern region. This coming year will see not only an executive council for the vice president, but a state president's council as well as a state officers council. Applications which are now out and can be accessed by emailing your state key or myself at fblaerbp@fbla.org. It is my #1 goal for the region to be as interconnected as possible, and I want to get to know and hear input from as many state and local officers as well as local members in our region. Along with connecting, a crucial goal for our region this coming year will be membership growth and support, not only for our largest states, but also for smaller chapters such as the District of Columbia and provinces like Ontario, and most especially international chapters, as well as a large emphasis on internship and job shadow opportunities and recognition and as always, support for the March of Dimes. In more general news, online membership has been open since August 1st, and so I hope to see you and as many more members as possible in the Eastern region as possible joining us in the next couple of weeks. A ton more information about our region's goals and councils will be coming up in emails sent to each state, and so if you're interested, you can definitely look for that in the coming days. Thank you all once again, and I look forward to getting to know each and every one of you. And now I will introduce Keaton.
Hello, everyone. My name is Keaton Erickson, and I'm serving as your 2015-2016 Mountain Plains Regional Executive Vice President. Excuse me. I am from Carrington, North Dakota, and I also serve as North Dakota State President. This is my 4th year in FBLA, and I couldn't be more excited to serve the membership this year. Since the National Leadership Conference in Chicago, Illinois, I've remained actively involved in the at the National Officers Training at the FBLA headquarters in Western Virginia. Our team collectively developed a jam-packed program of work, which is kept and will keep our team moving throughout the year. Several committees have been formed to help facilitate the completion of the National Officer Program of work. I've helped to form a plan for our email blast system, brainstorm ideas for the national application campaign, and looked at ways to improve the branding of our organization through social media. All executive board applications have been released, which I would like to encourage members of the mighty Mountain Plains region to apply for, and I'm looking forward to a great year serving with the Mountain Plains Regional Executive Board. I will be attending the National Fall Leadership in Omaha, Nebraska, where I hope to meet and connect with many of you. And I would now like to introduce your North Central Region Vice President, Nick Ferguson.
All right, hello. My name is Nicholas Ferguson, and I'm a senior at Turpin High School in Cincinnati, Ohio. I proudly serve as your North Central Region Vice President. This year, I hope to help promote growth in the North Central region by connecting with each of the state officer teams and by connecting with as many new and potential chapters as possible. I also want to increase the amount of communication between states in the region by providing state officers with the proper tools to easily connect with each other. Another one of my goals is to help revamp FBLA YouTube channel by helping create more videos on a variety of relevant topics. I also look forward to the creation of the North Central Region Executive Board. Board members will have the opportunity to connect with members at the local, state, and national level. I plan on having them help out with various projects on the national program of work. Now I'll introduce Alexis, your Southern Region Vice President.
Alexis, I think your mic is muted.
Thanks, it was muted. Okay.
No problem.
Rookie mistake. Anyways, my name is Alexis Crane, and I'm proudly serving as your Southern Region Vice President, and I'm from the great state of Alabama, where I also serve as their FBLA State President. I'm very excited about this year, and some of the things that we've been working on in the Southern region are our council applications and our social media accounts. So make sure you're following our social media accounts if you haven't done that, because it's easy access to great information and upcoming news. The Southern Region Facebook page closes October 1st, so make sure you request to join our page. And if you're wanting to apply for the Southern Region Council, make sure you do so by September 15th. You can find the application on our Facebook and Twitter pages. Other than that, I'm looking forward to working on our 2016 and 2016 membership drive. And I'm also working with chapters in Europe and my home state, which is North Carolina. So I'll be working with them to help increase membership and do that. So if you need any assistance, please contact me this year. And I will now be introducing Grace.
Hey everyone, so my name is Grace Ramstead and I'm from Oregon, so I'm serving as your Western Region Vice President. As you've heard, we have a lot of great things in store this year, and I've been working with the rest of the national officers to really get things started as the year begins. I'll try not to cover anything that they already have. The biggest project I have going on is the Western Region Board applications. So applications are due September 15th, and please let me know if you have any questions along the way, either about the position or the application or really anything. Also, over the summer, all of the national officers have been connecting with congressmen in our regions, and I'm excited to really utilize these connections throughout the year. And if you want to learn how you can connect with either your state or national representatives, just contact me and I can send you or your officer team some information on how to make that happen and what you can do once you have an appointment with them. As you heard, I've also been working with Josie and Ashton on a new FBLA app, and me, Jose, and Nick are working on a new advisor video competition. So stay tuned to learn more about all of these projects as we move forward throughout the year. And now I'll turn it over to Ashton.
Hi, my name is Ashton Rottinghouse, and I proudly serve as your National Future Business Leaders of America Treasurer. I'm a senior at Wellesley High School in Kansas, and I also serve as the Kansas FBLA State President. Since my election, I've been actively involved at the national level in helping our organization continue to thrive. To start on my journey, I began with meeting the Kansas legislators and worked to help develop the 2015-2016 National Program of Work in Washington, D.C. This laid the groundwork for me to be a part of several committees and help obtain goals we set. I've helped to develop ideas for our national app, planned out ideas for our email blasts, and worked to establish more social media recognition. As a treasurer, I've looked over national officer reimbursements and made headway on corporate sponsorship research. I've also researched contacting one of my state senators about signing a proclamation for American Enterprise Day. With the National Ball Leadership coming up, I have also started preparing my workshop I will be giving titled Programs That Pop, about how to create a strong program of work within your chapter. I'll be attending the NFLC in Omaha, Nebraska, where I'm excited to connect with all of you. So I will turn this back over to Jose.
Thank you, Ashton. So as you've heard from our national officers, we're working diligently to realize the objectives laid out in this year's program of work. And if you haven't had the chance to see the new program of work for yourself, I strongly encourage you to visit the FBLA National President Facebook page where the document is available for viewing. Most of my work over the past month has focused on laying the foundations for a successful year. Recently, we opened applications for the National Councils and President's Assistants, who will play a key role in the accomplishment of our objectives by helping us find sponsors, contact local chapters, and promote FBLA to legislators, educators, and parents across the nation and abroad. Success this year, however, is not entirely dependent on our national officers and council members alone. In order to meet objectives like raising our national membership by 2,016 members, we need your help. I challenge you to recruit at least 2 new members this semester as we promote our new Connect 10 program. This replaces last year's 7-Up and allows you to win a ribbon at the 2016 National Leadership Conference in Atlanta, Georgia. So with that, we've summed up our introductions from our national officer team, and we'd like to transition into a 15-minute Q&A. So if you have any questions, you should be able to use the Q&A feature on Google Hangouts to ask us questions, and we'll go ahead and respond those live. Also, if you can't get the Q&A feature to work on your computer, you can just tweet at us on Instagram, and we'll get back to you live. So 2 ways of answering questions. Again, you can either post them here live on the Q&A, or you can tweet at us on Instagram or on Twitter. Thank you, Trevor. We got a question here. So the question is, how do you plan to use your team effectively? I think we can all pitch in on this one. Really, the focus for our national officer team this year, a big component of what we've been trying to focus on is, for me at least, is not just having myself lead, but turning this into an actual team that can actually be effective by following the objectives that they are actually passionate about. So one thing that we've done with this year's program of work is that we have divided the program of work into separate committees. So each project is led by several national officers, and each national officer can select what programs they want to work on throughout the year. Now, those were assigned back at our national officer training during the summer, and we've been continuing on with those committees, and we plan on using them throughout the year. Does anyone else want to talk about how we plan on using our team effectively?
I'd say just a big component of being effective throughout the year is following that program of work. We've set deadlines on there purposefully so that we can keep up with everything and make sure we complete all of our goals. So just sticking with those and working with each other while also continuing to get the input of members so that we're not just accomplishing our own goals, but accomplishing the goals of the whole nation.
And I'm sure all the other region VPs will agree with me, but you know, the national team isn't just us 9 sitting here. A lot of it has to do with not only the national staff, but the people who end up being on our regional councils and presidents and treasurer and parliamentarian and secretary councils. They are a great help to us, and they're all part of the national team family. So they're going to be an integral part of what we do over the coming year, and we really strongly encourage everybody to apply for those because they are going to be making a big difference this coming year.
I would also like to add that Jose has really done a great job of not making this a hierarchy, and we are really a team. Everyone had the opportunity to share their passions with everyone else, and we really all work together on our program of work, and it has all of our personalities and all of our interests in it. So I think our team is really strong, and we're definitely all at the same level.
And going back to what Hirsch said, the councils this year are really going to play a huge role in what we do because there's a lot of tasks that this year, if you take a look at our program of work, are very ambitious and they require a lot of research, a lot of meticulous planning, and involved in that research, we're going to need people to help us out this year, and those people who will help us out are going to be our council members. But we'll also be requiring the help of state officers and of members throughout the nation, not just on those national programs, but also on raising our membership, on continuing to raise money for the March of Dimes. And we're really looking forward to a great new year by continuing to stay connected with our members throughout the nation, no matter what office they hold. Does anyone else have any comments on this question? All right, thank you, Trevor. Does anyone else have any other questions? You can post them here through our Q&A on Google Hangouts, or you can tweet at us on Twitter. Once again, for any new viewers, we're taking Q&A right now. So you can either leave questions for us here on our Q&A feature through Google Hangouts, or you can tweet at us directly on Twitter and we'll answer live. I think we have one question that's come in here now, and the question is, what aspect of the program of work are you most excited about? So does someone want to pick up on that one and talk about that? Someone who maybe didn't talk last time?
Sure, I'll start off here. The aspect that I'm most excited about is using the regional email blast system to a greater extent, because I think that that tool is such an effective tool and to reach more members and more officers throughout the year. So that's my personal favorite.
One thing that I'm excited about with our program of work is doing more social media recognition. So we have the ideas to incorporate just more of the average members, how they help with community service, they help within their school, or they help complete programs. So just recognizing them more on social media, since that's a great way to reach all members across the nation, and it's a great way to keep everyone updated on the great things that everyone's doing if they can't publicize them themselves. So that's what I'm really excited about.
Yeah, and I'd like to add in on that too. I'm very excited about our social media. Jose and I are also working on like an article to go into Tomorrow Business Leader about social media and how to help chapters with social media, because it's such an effective tool to learn more about chapters and state chapters, just learning what they're getting involved in, because we can't always dig inside our states and see what they're doing, and social media is a great tool to use that for. And so our article in the Tomorrow Business Leader will be very helpful, and we can also help spotlight a specific chapter that uses social media to its full extent. So that's one thing that we're also working on that I'm very excited about.
One of the things I'm looking forward to is continuing and expanding Launchpad. For those of you who didn't participate in it last year, it's basically a program where different entrepreneurs with different ideas or even products can just come in and pitch their ideas and meet with mentors who give them advice. And one of the things me, Josie, and Hirsch are looking to do is to create a discussion board on the Launchpad website to just have different ideas and different entrepreneurs bounce ideas off each other.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with Vanessa on that one. That was a great program last year, and we were just trying to expand and make it better for this year. An aspect of the POW that I was really excited about was our increased emphasis on international growth. That's been a big one for me, especially because as the Eastern Region Vice President, those chapters do fall under my domain. But honestly, my excitement actually comes from something very opposite from that, which is that instead of just the Eastern Region Vice President handling that as they do every year, this has been like a very a really team effort from all members on our team, and we actually have, I think, 5 national officers really heavily engaged in doing that this year. If I'm thinking correctly, it's Vanessa, Nick, Jose, Alexis, and correct me if there are any more. But yeah, so it's a team-wide effort this year instead of just being one position, and I couldn't be more excited about that.
What I'm most excited about is our new FBLA Challenge phone application that we have started to work on. We're kind of trying to combine studying for FBLA tests and a trivia crack-like app. We're very excited about it, and PBL has also joined our efforts in this, and we have met with some of their officers, and we're just super excited to start that.
Sure. Definitely one that I'm definitely excited about this year. We have a number of great programs that we're working on this year, but one that I'm excited about this year that I'm working on with Grace and Nick actually is an advisor video competition. That is, it's not only going to involve our advisors competitively in a way that has really only been available to our members in years past. It's actually going to create a database of informational videos that we can use for our members later on who want to study up for a competitive event. So this is something that will not just go on for this year, but it's something that will build on a database that we can use in years to come. So I'm looking forward to growing that program this year and watching that develop into something that we can use time and time again in the future. I think we have some new questions now, so we're going to go ahead and move on. We're running at 6 minutes here, so we'll take about 3 minutes for each of the next 2 questions. So Trevor, we have another question from you here again. And oh, I think I just question's been taken down. But the question was, I'm interested in becoming a national officer. What are some steps that I can take now in order to put myself closer to realizing that dream? Does anyone want to start off with this one?
One thing that I would suggest is, if you know what position that you'd like to be, is definitely applying for a national council for that position. If you're not really sure, then maybe you can just pick any council and it'll still give you a feel of what it's like to be a national officer, but helping them complete those duties gives you an insight as to what's going on. So also just complete as many FBLA programs as you can and put yourself out there with FBLA at your local level, your state level, and your national level, so you can reach members from each level of FBLA and not just the national level. But I'd really definitely suggest applying for a council, especially if you know which office that you want to be in, applying for that one.
I definitely agree with Ashton. If I was going to add anything to what she said, it would be the councils are really important. Just to offer a different perspective, Ashton has been extremely involved in Kansas FBLA for many years now. She's their state president. Coming from a national officer who wasn't as involved early on and didn't take that advice early on, if you're one of those kind of people and you're still really interested in leading the organization at a national level, I would say maybe you don't have that kind of experience, but the best thing you can do, especially as this year progresses, is listen to your local chapter, listen to your state chapter, listen to your region about what their concerns and what their desires are for FBLA to be. I know specifically I spent many months doing that, where I would just ask my local members or state members what do they want to see FBLA become in the next year, and how I could incorporate that into what I saw FBLA becoming over the next year. And that's actually how I ended up bringing internships and job shadows to be such an integral part of what I was running on, which was that FBLA members in the Eastern region really were looking for that to become a very big part of FBLA. And so I would just say listen to the people around you and get input from everybody you can, because that can be really valuable.
And just one last note so we can get to the last question, or if there's anyone else has anything to say, I would recommend going to as many nationwide or even statewide conferences or places to meet up so you can make as many connections as you can.
I have one last super quick thing to say. I would really focus on your goals and try to get those down now. I know that at conference I was really drilled on what my goals were and what I plan to do with FBLA, and I think that you can look off of what we have accomplished or are planning to accomplish and really base your goals as extensions of that, because FBLA members will be able to then really understand what you're talking about, and you can just continue to build the organization.
Yeah, I'll add in here quickly since we're running low on time, but we'll take time to answer these two questions here. But two pieces that I'd like to add. One is this year try and focus on also result-driven leadership. So what do I mean by that? At your local and your state level, if there's any programs that you can get involved with, whether that's raising money for the March of Dimes, whether that's competing in a competitive event and trying to reach a local, regional, state, or national conference, if there's really anywhere where you can stand out and shine and you can show that you can commit yourself to the organization and you can produce some sort of results, that's something that you can take with you when you go and campaign, and you can show members that you're someone who can produce results within the organization. So certainly that's something to focus on as well. And another piece of that as well is strategic vision. So like many of our officers mentioned as well, it's incredibly important to keep in mind where you want the organization to go. So definitely keeping your ears open, listening for what are some of the pain points at your state organization, in your local chapter, and in the national organization as well, and keeping in mind what programs might be best to lead the organization in a positive direction, and also thinking of what that direction should be. So we'll go ahead and take the next question here. This is from Savannah. At what email can I contact to receive information about my state/regional FBLA officers? So that it really depends on what state you're from. So depending on what state you're from, there will be contact information for each of your state or regional officers. So region officers, do you want to talk about how to get in touch with state and regional officers?
Sure, I can take that. So for each of the regional vice presidents, you can find their social media accounts. That's one medium that you can use to contact them. But another one you can do is use their email address directly. My email address would be fblancvp@fbla.org. And so then I'm sure that the other regional vice presidents would be able to say what their email addresses are as well.
So I'm the exact same as Nick, except for instead of NCVP, I'm ERVP.
And I'm the same as them, except I'm WRVP. And you can also, again, find all of these online, too, if you forget these or aren't writing them down.
Yeah, and mine is FBLAMPVP@fbla.org.
Yes, and I'm FBLA SRVP@fbla.org.
One quick thing to add, too, is if you can't remember all these emails, on our FBLA website, all of our contact information, so our Facebook, our Twitter, and our national email is all on there. So you can just go to that website, and if you have a question for any of us, you could just email us or go to our Twitter.
And in terms of your regional officers, if you don't know them, we can you can contact your state officer or your national region officer, and we can contact your state advisor for that information.
Excellent. So we'll move on to our final question here before we wrap up, and it's from Kadri. And the question is, what is one way that the national officer team, specifically the regional vice presidents, is planning to stay connected with the state officer teams this year to ensure that communication is very effective with the state chapters? So regional VPs, I'll let you have that one.
I can talk a little bit about that one. So we're trying to reach you guys in as many different ways as possible because we know all of you have different ways of communicating. So for those that prefer email, we'll be sending out monthly email blasts, and you should be getting your first one within this week. We're also all on social media, so you can check out our Facebook pages, all of our Twitters, and then you can also check out the national Instagram and national Twitter and Facebook, where we also post onto those domains. And so whichever way is easiest for you to communicate with us, that's how you can reach out to us, and we'll respond through whichever domain is easiest for you.
And I know that right now we're working as a team to compile all the contact information for every state officer from every region in every state. So right now we have a spreadsheet with all that contact information, and we would be willing to share that with certain state officers if they would want that information for the states around them as well. So that way we'll be promoting not only the communication between the state and national officers, but other state officers as well.
Yeah, and just to add on to that, I know a lot of us are trying to start initiatives to connect with our state officers more. In the Eastern region specifically, I'm actually not only doing State President's Council, but a State Officers Council, just because I think that their input is really, really valued among the national team this year especially. So if you're in the Eastern region VP, I would strongly recommend, if you're a state officer, to apply to that as well, because that will be an integral part of not only the Eastern region, but I'm sure as a team, the direction that we go in the next year.
Yeah, going off what Hirsch said, I'm planning on using my executive board as liaisons to the state chapters and the state officer teams to make sure that that connection is there.
Excellent. So I think that about wraps up that question. And that's all the time that we have for this national forum. But thank you all so much who watch our national forum today. Thank you to all of our members, any advisors who tune in as well. Thank you so much. This is what makes it possible, the fact that you're listening in and really staying informed with our national programs. It really means a lot to us, and this is why we do what we do. It's to make sure that we can make an impact and help provide some resources for our state chapters and our local chapters as well. So we really do appreciate you coming in today and watching the National Forum. And if you missed it or you're just tuning in now, this is not the only one we'll have. This is the first of many. So if you'll stay watching our social media throughout the year, we'll be promoting many more throughout the year. These will be bi-monthly, so our next one will be in October. So again, if you just stay on social media and you stay watching out, we'll be sure to be giving you more information about these in the future. So thank you again, everyone, for listening in. We have a fantastic national officer team this year. I couldn't be more proud of them. And we have a fantastic program of work that is very ambitious, but at the same time, we're gathering all the necessary resources to ensure that it becomes a reality, because it has some fantastic programs that will be of great benefit to FBLA's members, not just in this year, but in many years to come. Thank you again, and we look forward to staying in touch and staying connected as the year goes on. Goodbye.